While politicians in Washington continue to have a dated conversation around drugs, former Speaker of the House and conservative John Boehner tweeted out this: "I'm joining the board of Acreage Holdings because my thinking on cannabis has evolved. I'm convinced descheduling the drug is needed so we can do research, help our veterans, and reverse the opioid epidemic ravaging our communities." John Boehner, the conservative, the Republican, the former Speaker of the House, he wants to see movement on cannabis legalization. And this is the guy that is quoted as once saying that he is unalterably opposed to legal pot. So I'm a little surprised. Now, marijuana has been legalized for recreational use in 9 states plus Washington, D.C. And it's also legal in 29 states for medicinal purposes. Now, before I get to my feelings on this and why I think John Boehner has made this move, let me show you a statement here from Acreage founder and CEO Kevin Murphy. "Acreage has a mission to make cannabis available to any patient who can benefit from safe and reliable access. The addition of Speaker Boehner and Governor Weld to our board will lead to even greater access for patients by changing the conversation overnight." So they also mentioned there Bill Weld. So Bill Weld is the former governor of Massachusetts, and he was actually Gary Johnson, the Libertarian candidate in 2016. He was Johnson's running mate. Now, back to John Boehner. So why is Boehner doing this now? And for that matter, you could say, why is Bill Weld doing this? Well, here's why. So majority of Americans now support legalizing marijuana, where the number is actually now at 64% of everyone wants to see marijuana legalized. And when you break down the data even further, you see that now the majority of Republicans support the legalization of marijuana at 51%, along with 67% of independents and 72% of Democrats. But let's get real here. The actual reason that John Boehner has decided to join a cannabis company is because there is money to be made, and he wants in. So while he was in office, he had absolutely no courage on this issue. Oh, the veterans need cannabis? No. I am unalterably opposed to cannabis legalization. Oh, people are in jail over a harmless plant? No. I am unalterably opposed to cannabis legalization. Oh, I'm out of office now and I can make money off this? Yes. Cannabis legalization makes sense. Let's make sure everybody in the country who needs access to cannabis can get it, because I'm going to make money off it. That's the only reason he is doing this. Boehner, along with the majority of politicians in Washington, are cowards. They have no courage when they're in office. Once they're out, oh yeah, I never liked Trump the whole time. Oh yeah, cannabis should be legalized. They're all phonies. Now, another point that was made here, made by Jimmy Dore on Twitter, is this: when even John Boehner is more progressive on the drug war than Democrats' favorite rising star and neoliberal trust fund baby, Joe Kennedy. Now, this is a great point, and it's not just Joe Kennedy. It's the majority of Democrats in Congress. John Boehner, the former Speaker of the House, a conservative, is now more progressive on the issue of cannabis than the majority of Democrats in Congress. Why is the conversation like this? Now, there are a number of reasons. Mostly it's because of big donors. So Big Pharma doesn't want to see cannabis legalized because that cuts into their market. But that said, this is clearly where everything is going. And the majority of people in the country support cannabis legalization. The majority of Republicans support cannabis legalization. Yet still, there is little to no movement. We have some people supporting it, like Cynthia Nixon, who's running for governor against Andrew Cuomo. Bernie Sanders supports it. There are some politicians, Cory Booker even supports it. There are some politicians out there that do support legalizing cannabis, but the majority don't. Now, maybe a move like this by John Boehner will spark something in Democrats to realize that, yeah, we don't want the Republican Party to be the front and center on this issue. We don't want them to be able to take cannabis legalization and run on that. So maybe we should actually now push for cannabis legalization. So maybe it'll wake them up. Or maybe it'll actually wake Republicans up. And they will take the issue and they will run on it. That would be a huge move for them. But I don't think they have the guts to do it, but we'll see. So ultimately, while this signals as a good move, it just shows you how cowardly these politicians are. Hey, if you like this video, hit that subscribe button below and consider throwing me a few bucks on Patreon at patreon.com/therationalnational or therationalnational.com/join.